Dubbed the King of Country Music, George Strait earned this prestigious title through years of unwavering talent, dedication, and an undeniable ability to introduce the world to authentic, raw country music, a sound that quickly resonated with fans. Strait's musical career is truly legendary. He holds the record as the 12th best-selling album recording artist in the U.S., with over 70 million records sold domestically and more than 120 million records sold worldwide. This impressive feat makes him one of the best-selling music artists in history. It's no surprise that Strait has become an enduring icon in country music, captivating audiences for decades. However, his career success has not shielded him from personal struggles, especially within his family. Some of these difficulties are painfully revealed in the heartbreaking details about his son's life. Let's take a closer look at the life of George Strait and the shocking truth behind his son's story. George Strait was born on May 18, 1952, in Poteet, Texas. He grew up in the small town of Pearsall, located in southern Texas. His father, John Strait, worked as a middle school math teacher while also managing a 2,000-acre family ranch. When George was young, his parents separated, and he, along with his brother Buddy, was raised by their father. From an early age, the boys were involved in the demanding work on the ranch. They spent much of their time there, learning the values of hard work and the rugged lifestyle of the rural West. It was at Pearsall High School that George's musical journey began. He formed a rock band called the Stoics, and as George recalled, the band was deeply influenced by the Beatles. The Beatles were big. I listened to them a lot, along with a whole bunch of groups that were popular at the time, he said. Despite not being the most proficient guitarist, George continued playing in various rock bands during his high school years. Country music was not yet a central part of his musical repertoire. After high school, George went on to attend Southwest Texas State University for a year before marrying his high school sweetheart, Norma. In 1971, he enlisted in the U.S. Army and was stationed in Hawaii. During this time, George's interest in country music began to grow. He became enamored with the music of legends such as Hank Williams, George Jones, Merle Haggard, and particularly Bob Wills, who was renowned for his Western swing style. It was through these years in the military that George began to realize his passion for country music, eventually deciding to pursue it as a career. By 1973, while still in the Army, George joined his first country music band. After his service, he returned to college briefly, but was soon fully immersed in the Texas music scene, playing in the band Stony Ridge. He changed the band's name to Ace in the Hole and became the lead singer, marking the start of his rise in country music. They began performing regularly at local clubs, and George's musical journey slowly began to take shape, leading him to pursue his dreams of becoming a country music icon. After attending Southwest Texas State University for a year, George married his high school sweetheart Norma in a private ceremony. Soon after, in 1971, he enlisted in the U.S. Army. Stationed in Hawaii, he spent his downtime practicing guitar and singing while developing an appreciation for country music, particularly from iconic artists like Hank Williams, George Jones, Merle Haggard, and Bob Wills, who was renowned for his Western swing style. In 1973, while still in the military, George joined his first country music band, which performed at the Army base. After completing his service in 1975, George returned to Southwest Texas State University, where he earned a degree in agriculture. By 1979, while still in school, George joined a country band called Stony Ridge after seeing a flyer for the group. He soon renamed the band Ace in the Hole and took on the role of lead singer. The band played regularly at local clubs near campus, performing at bars across South and Central Texas, even traveling as far as Huntsville and Houston. They built a solid local following and were even given the opportunity to open for well-known acts like the Texas Playboys. The band also recorded several of George's original songs, such as that don't change the way I feel about you, and I can't go on dying like this, for a small Houston-based label called D Records. Unfortunately, these songs didn't gain widespread recognition, and George continued to work on his family's ranch during the day to make ends meet. Despite his growing musical aspirations, George had no industry connections. However, his friend Irv Woy, who ran a local bar where George's band regularly performed, had experience in the music business and had worked for a major record label before opening his bar. Woy managed to convince some Nashville industry figures to travel to Texas to hear George and his band perform. While the music impressed them, they felt that the band's Western swing sound wouldn't appeal to a mainstream audience, and they left without offering a deal. Undeterred, George made numerous trips to Nashville in hopes of securing a record deal, but each time he was rejected. Like the Nashville executives who had seen him perform, the major labels at the time didn't know how to market his traditional style, especially in an industry that was leaning heavily toward a more polished pop country sound. After struggling to gain the recognition he desired in Nashville, George began to consider leaving music behind. Not long after, he was offered a job designing cattle pens, which he seriously considered taking. He even informed his band that he was planning to leave music, but his wife, Norma, encouraged him to give it one more year. Heeding her advice, George continued pursuing his music career. And soon after, in February 1981, he was signed by major label MCA to a record contract. The terms of the deal were simple. They would begin with just one song, and if it was successful, they would consider offering him a full album and a longer-term contract. George's single Unwound, released in 1981, quickly gained popularity, climbing to number 6 on the Hot Country Songs chart in Billboard magazine. This success was the catalyst for MCA to offer him a longer contract, officially launching his career as a professional musician. With the support of his band, Ace in the Hole, George transitioned to a solo career, and they remained his backing band throughout his journey. Over the next decade, he released more than 12 albums, each of which sold over 1 million copies. Following his debut album, Straight Country, 1981, he released Straight from the Heart in 1982, which featured his first #1 country hit, Foolhardy Memory. Critics praised Straight Country for its departure from the pop-style country music that dominated the charts at the time, solidifying George's unique sound. From there, George's success skyrocketed. He amassed 17 #1 hits, with 5 of them occurring consecutively from 1983 to 1984, from albums such as Right or Wrong and Does Fort Worth Ever Cross Your Mind? George's growing popularity led him to perform regularly at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, a tradition that began in 1983 when Eddie Rabbitt fell ill. Since then, George has performed over 20 shows there, drawing more than 1 million fans over the years. In 1985, George won the CMA Award for Best Male Vocalist and released his first Greatest Hits album. That same year, his album Something Special reached #1 and featured the hit song The Chair. George continued to receive recognition for his talent, winning the CMA Vocalist of the Year award again in 1986 and releasing his 4th consecutive #1 album. While George's career was thriving, 1986 proved to be a devastating year for him and his wife, Norma. At the time, they had 2 children. Their first daughter, Jennifer, born on October 6, 1972, and their son, George Harvey Strait Jr., known as Bubba, born in 1981. However, tragedy struck the family when their 13-year-old daughter, Jennifer, was killed in a car accident. She was a passenger in a car driven by 18-year-old Gregory Wilson Allen from Staples, Texas. The accident, caused by excessive speed and improper handling of the vehicle, resulted in the car flipping over. Jennifer, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was partially ejected and died instantly. In the aftermath of this heartbreaking loss, George withdrew from the media, avoiding interviews and refraining from discussing his daughter's death for a year. The pursuit of publicity no longer held any significance for him. Reflecting on the tragedy, George explained, "I got even more private after I lost my daughter. That's when I really shut things down. I didn't feel like talking to anybody that wasn't really close to me. I had the attitude that nothing worse could probably happen, and so this is the way I'm going to do things to deal with this tragedy." Despite his profound grief, George didn't let his sorrow stop him from performing. He continued to create music, and his perseverance led to a remarkable achievement: 11 consecutive songs that reached #1. Starting with "Nobody in His Right Mind Would Have Left Her" in 1986, these songs culminated with "Ace in the Hole" in 1989. All of these songs were featured on albums that hit #1 on the country music charts, with Oceanfront Property making history as the first country album to debut at #1. George Strait capped off the 1980s with a significant achievement, winning the CMA Entertainer of the Year award in 1989, and he claimed the title again the following year. As the 1990s began, George released his 10th studio album, Living It Up, in 1990. The album produced 2 major hits, Love Without End, Amen, and I've Come to Expect It From You, both of which topped the charts for 5 weeks. This success solidified his place as one of the premier artists in country music. The following year, in 1991, George released Chill of an Early Fall, which also garnered positive reviews. Entertainment Weekly noted that the album marked a shift in George's musical style, as he ventured away from his typical sound and embraced new ideas. The album spawned hits like If I Know Me and You Know Me Better Than That, both of which became fan favorites. However, his impressive streak of 31 consecutive top 10 hits was broken with his cover of Lovesick Blues, which only reached #24. Despite this, Chill of an Early Fall peaked at #4 on the charts, marking a slight departure from his usual dominance. In 1992, George released Holding My Own. Although the album did not produce any #1 hits, it still featured 2 songs that reached the top 5. That same year, George made his acting debut in the movie Pure Country, contributing several songs to the film's soundtrack, including I Cross My Heart, Heartland, Where the Sidewalk Ends, and The King of Broken Hearts. In 1995, he released a special collection, George, Out of the Box, which included 4 discs and went on to sell over 5 million copies. To this day, George, Out of the Box remains the best-selling box set in country music history, a testament to his lasting impact on the genre. As the 1990s drew to a close, George Strait's career continued to soar, with each album further solidifying his position as one of country music's most iconic figures. His releases from the mid-90s, including Blue Clear Sky, 1996, Carrying Your Love With Me, 1997, and One Step at a Time, 1998, were met with both commercial success and critical acclaim. These albums demonstrated George's unmatched ability to blend traditional country sounds with a modern sensibility, helping him remain relevant at the forefront of the genre. In 1999, he closed out the decade with Always Never the Same, which reached #2 on the country charts and peaked at #6 on the Billboard 200. The album further cemented his stature, though critics were divided on its artistic merit. Entertainment Weekly, however, praised George for his ability to take even the most lightweight material and turn it into a hit through his undeniable style and grace, something that had become a hallmark of his career by this point. Throughout the 1990s, George Strait racked up an impressive 17 #1 hits on the Billboard Country Airplay charts, setting the stage for continued dominance in the 2000s. As the new millennium approached, George's musical output only gained momentum. In September 2000, he released an album simply titled George Strait, which featured hit singles such as Go On, If It's Going to Rain, and She Took the Wind from His Sails. These songs quickly captured the attention of country music fans, with the album ultimately being certified platinum that same year. As a result of his remarkable contributions to country music, George Strait was honored with the National Medal of the Arts by President George W. Bush, a testament to his influence on both the music industry and American culture. By 2005, George's Somewhere Down in Texas album had garnered massive success. One of its standout tracks, Good News, Bad News, featuring the incomparable Leanne Womack, went on to win the CMA Award for Musical Event of the Year, adding to George's already impressive collection of accolades. To commemorate his 30th anniversary in the music industry, George released It Just Comes Natural in October 2006. The album, featuring 15 new tracks, included 2 songs co-written with longtime collaborator Dean Dillon. The album received overwhelmingly positive reviews, with USA Today lauding George for his consistent ability to deliver exceptional music with ease. Another reviewer remarked, "If ever there was a natural in country music, it's George Strait," a sentiment that echoed the sentiments of his fans and peers alike.
In 2007, George released the song Wrapped, which became an instant hit, topping the media-based 24/7 country music charts and marking George's 55th #1 single. That same year, George embarked on a 23-show arena tour, performing from January to April, during which he shared the stage with country music legend Ronnie Milsap and rising star Taylor Swift. This tour further demonstrated George's unrelenting dominance in the country music scene, showing that, even after decades in the industry, he was still at the very top of his game. In 2008, George released Troubadour, a critically acclaimed album that quickly shot to the top of the country album charts. The album's debut single, I Saw God Today, also reached the #1 spot, further solidifying George's place in the country music pantheon. Along with these accomplishments, George was honored with 2 CMA awards that year, winning Album of the Year for Troubadour and Single of the Year for I Saw God Today. These accolades only added to his already extensive list of achievements and reinforced his legacy as one of the greatest artists in country music history. As George Strait entered the next phase of his career, he had already secured his place as a true legend in the world of country music. His continuous chart-topping hits, his influential tours, and his iconic presence on stage made him a beloved figure in the hearts of millions. Whether performing for thousands of fans at packed arenas or earning numerous accolades, George Strait's musical journey is a testament to his hard work, talent, and unwavering passion for country music. With each release and every performance, he proved time and again that he was more than just a country music star. He was a cultural institution. In 2009, George's career continued to reach new heights when he won a Grammy Award for Troubadour and was honored with the prestigious Artist of the Decade Award by the Academy of Country Music. This recognition solidified his place as one of the genre's greatest artists. In September 2012, George announced that his Cowboy Rides Away tour, which coincided with the release of his album Love Is Everything in May 2013, would be his final tour. In 2013, when his single Give It All We Got Tonight hit #1, George achieved a monumental milestone, reaching 60 #1 hits. With this achievement, he surpassed Conway Twitty's record for the most #1 hits on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart, a feat that no other artist had accomplished before. This record set George apart as the artist with the most #1 songs across all music genres, further cementing his legacy in the music industry. George Strait's fame extended far beyond his impressive catalog of #1 hits. He was equally renowned for his distinctive tours, which featured innovative 360-degree stage setups and festival-style arrangements. These unique performances became a hallmark of his career, solidifying his reputation as one of the most innovative live performers in country music. In late 2013, during the course of his Cowboy Rides Away tour, George was honored with the Country Music Association's Entertainer of the Year Award for the 3rd time in his career, a testament to his ongoing influence in the industry. Kiss joined George for the grand finale of the tour on June 7, 2014, in Arlington, Texas, where they performed in front of an audience of 104,792 fans. This monumental concert at AT&T Stadium marked the conclusion of the Cowboy Rides Away tour, and it achieved several milestones. It became the largest indoor concert in North America in 3 decades, surpassing the attendance of the Rolling Stones' 1981 show at the New Orleans Superdome. Not only did the concert break the attendance record, but it also set the highest earnings for any single country music concert, grossing an impressive $18 million. Then, on June 15, 2024, George Strait made history once again when he performed at Kyle Field at Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas, in front of an astonishing 110,000 fans. This performance marked the most fans ever at a solo concert in the U.S., surpassing the previous record held by the Grateful Dead, who had drawn 17,199 fans to their 1977 concert in New Jersey. In addition to this achievement, George's show set a new attendance record at Texas A&M's Kyle Field, eclipsing the previous mark of 11,633 fans, which had been set during a Texas A&M football game against Ole Miss on October 11, 2014. George Strait's connection with his fans extends far beyond his music. While his iconic status in country music is well known, what makes George even more captivating is the fact that he isn't just a cowboy in his songs. He truly lives the cowboy lifestyle. Many people were aware that George was born and raised on his father's ranch, but fewer knew that he spent a significant amount of time on his own ranch in South Texas. There, he immersed himself in activities such as riding horses, raising cattle, and competing in team roping at rodeos, activities that became an integral part of his life outside the music industry. George's love for ranching and roping was not just a passing interest, it was genuine and deeply personal. He raised steers specifically for the George Strait Team Roping Classic, an event he co-founded with his brother Buddy more than 2 decades ago. While many people might turn to such activities for commercial gain, George's passion for ranching and roping was never about profit. Instead, it was an expression of his connection to the land and the lifestyle he cherished. Throughout his career, George Strait has managed to maintain this balance between his music career and his personal passions. While he has achieved unparalleled success in the world of country music, with numerous records, sold-out concerts, and a dedicated fan base, he has also remained deeply rooted in the values and traditions of the rural West. His commitment to both his family and his craft has only further endeared him to fans, solidifying his legacy as not only a country music legend, but also as an authentic cowboy who continues to live out the very lifestyle that he so famously sings about. George's love for ranching was a legacy passed down from his father, and he was overjoyed to discover that his son, George Jr., affectionately known as Bubba, shared the same passion for the activity. The two spent countless hours together running the family ranch, creating a strong bond over the work they both enjoyed. Bubba quickly proved his talent in roping, following in his father's footsteps. He excelled in high school rodeos and later joined the Texas A&M University rodeo team, where he continued to hone his skills. George could not have been prouder of his son, often expressing his joy, saying, "I enjoy doing everything with my son." Bubba's journey in rodeo grew as he competed in numerous events throughout his college years. Eventually, he became a respected roper with the esteemed Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. As reported by the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Bubba participated in a variety of rodeo events, including the 22nd annual George Strait Team Roping Classic in 2004. However, his rodeo career faced a significant setback when he suffered a serious injury. While handling a loop, Bubba nearly severed his index finger, temporarily sidelining him from the sport. Despite the setback, Bubba remained dedicated to his craft and continued pursuing his passion for roping once he had healed. Rodeo has always been deeply woven into the fabric of the Strait family's life, with George personally organizing the Team Roping Classic for 35 years before concluding the event in 2017. Reflecting on his own time in the sport, George once shared with Team Roping Journal that his greatest pride came from winning alongside his son. "It's the greatest feeling in the world to watch my son win a or even to just watch him compete, George explained. I'm sure I'm way more nervous than he is when I'm just watching. Bubba and I have been fortunate to win a couple of buckles together, and that, my friends, is the ultimate. Through the years, their bond grew even stronger, as both father and son shared a mutual love for ranching and rodeo, and a deep respect for one another's talents. Their achievements in the sport brought them closer as they celebrated victories together and created lasting memories. George's pride in Bubba's success was evident in the way he spoke about their shared experiences. Even after the challenges and setbacks that Bubba faced, such as his injury, George was unwavering in his support of his son, always encouraging him to continue pursuing what they both loved. The Strait family's involvement in rodeo is not just a hobby, it's a tradition, and one that George and Bubba continue to embrace. Their shared love for the sport is a testament to the bond they have forged over the years. Whether competing in rodeos or working on the ranch, the Strait family's dedication to their craft and to each other remains strong, continuing to be a cornerstone of their lives. While Bubba prefers to maintain a low profile, staying away from the spotlight, he has also dabbled in the music industry. As a young boy, his voice was featured on the opening track, Heartland, from George's 1992 movie, Pure Country, a testament to his early involvement in his father's world. As Bubba Strait grew older, he became increasingly involved in his father George's music, contributing to the songwriting process for songs such as Living for the Night and Out of Sight, Out of Mind from the 2009 album Twang. Bubba's involvement didn't end there. He continued to co-write tracks for his father's subsequent studio albums. Here for a Good Time, 2011, Love is Everything, 2013, Cold Beer Conversation, 2015, and Honky Tonk Time Machine, 2019. Even George acknowledged the important role his son played in reigniting his passion for songwriting. Bubba really got me back into writing. That's been a great experience for me, George said. It's been amazing to watch him grow and blossom as a songwriter. He's loving it, he plays guitar, and he's doing really well. It's been such a blessing to work with him at this stage of my career. Bubba's support for his father has been unwavering, and he has stood by George at several key moments throughout his career. He was by George's side during the 2007 Country Music Hall of Fame medallion ceremony, the 44th Annual Academy of Country Music Awards in 2009, where George was honored as Artist of the Decade, and at the 50th Annual ASCAP Country Music Awards in 2012. Bubba's presence at these prestigious events was a testament to the strength of their relationship and their shared commitment to their musical journey. In 2014, Bubba had the honor of joining his father on stage for a performance at the final stop of the 2-year Cowboy Rides Away tour in Arlington, Texas. The father-son duo performed Arkansas Dave, a song Bubba had written himself. This moment, marked by their seamless musical collaboration, became one of the most memorable highlights of the tour. The performance was later captured and showcased in CMT's George Strait, the Cowboy Rides Away live concert special, allowing fans to witness the deep connection and respect between father and son. Bubba's contributions to George's music go beyond just writing. His presence as a constant collaborator and confidant has enriched the career of one of country music's greatest icons. His commitment to the music, alongside his natural talent, has helped create songs that resonate with fans and add a fresh personal touch to George's extensive catalog. Their bond, built on shared experiences and a love of music, is something that continues to inspire both artists and their audience. With Bubba's talent for songwriting and his deep connection to his father's legacy, it's clear that the Strait family's musical influence will continue to be felt for years to come. Whether performing on stage or collaborating behind the scenes, Bubba has played a key role in George's career, proving that family and music are at the heart of their success. As Bubba's involvement in the music industry continues to grow, his dedication to songwriting with his father remains unwavering. Their collaborative efforts bring him immense joy, and he has no intention of stepping away from their creative partnership anytime soon. While Bubba chooses to maintain a low profile and does not engage with social media, his wife, realtor Tamara Strait, often shares glimpses of their life together on Instagram. Tamara and Bubba's journey began in 2005 when they first met no matter what, supports me in my work, and most importantly, walks in faith with me.